Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Nixon. I'm going to be covering the Dachau hypothermia experiments that took place in World War II over in Germany. Roughly 188,000 prisoners were held captive in Dachau's concentration camp from the years 1933 to 1945. Many medical experiments were done on the prisoners that were held captive there. However, the hypothermia experiment is the one that I decided to cover because it is one of the more popular ones done. So the basis of the Dachau hypothermia experiment was to find a successful way to for treating the German Air Force's soldiers who had been shot down in the North Sea. The doctors responsible were Dr. Holzheimer, Raschker, and Fink. Many of these subjects that were used throughout the experiment were men that were in the concentration camp, and they were either guaranteed freedom or release from camp, but oftentimes the experiments just resulted in death. So the tests, they were performed when these prisoners were placed in the waters ranging from 2 to 12 degrees Celsius. However, there's different ways that were used to help warm up their bodies. Some were dunked in warm water, some were put in boiling water, and there's other varieties of ways they tried to warm up their bodies. However, with the experiment, back when they did it, it didn't really seem like they had all the information and right measurements that they actually needed to conduct a good, clear result. Like, from the information they obtained, they didn't quite get all the information that they actually needed to make it beneficial today to those who are still trying to solve hypothermia issues and things like that. So the results of the experiment were inconclusive in general. However, from the reports that they did from the experiment, they found out that the best way to actually help these people recover from hypothermia was to just place them in warm water and kind of let their body start to get back to that main temperature. However, overall, the information is not too credible. The data is not too credible. So the lasting effects that the experiment left on people is awful, because if you look back at it, none of the things that they did were really, they weren't, the people didn't give proper consent. They were practically just torturing these people to say that they were doing experiments and using them, instead of just finding a better way or a better solution to the problems that they were facing. So the concentration camps and the medical research that was done throughout World War II was not very humane in any way possible, or ethical in any way. People must look back at it and realize that the things that were done should not ever be done again, and that people's rights must be protected, and no one should ever have to go through what the prisoners in the Holocaust had to go through. And then a final finishing words from General Eisenhower at the time, just kind of covering what we should get out of World War II and the Holocaust and everything out of it, is that the world must know what happened and never forget, so that way it doesn't happen again. So thank you for listening.